Welcome back, everyone, to the Temple of Technology. I am your host, Scott James Magner, the idiot with a microphone. I am the idiot, and this is my microphone. And it's time for another episode of So Here's the Deal, an RS Entertainment webcast where I explore my vast media collection, as you can see some of behind me, talk about discs from my personal collection, movies, what they mean, and, to really dig into why I do the things that I do. Today, we're going to be talking about A League of Their Own, a 1992 Penny Marshall, Geena Davis, Tom Hanks movie. I love this movie. It's on one of my big lists of movies, and this movie this is on, not only is it one of the best sports movies of all time, but this is one of the movies that if it's on TV, we stop and watch it. From whatever point we see it, we just watch it all the way through. And always, when we're in this mode, we go, we could just get the disc and we could just watch the disc. So I love this movie. I love it a lot. And I'm going to show a couple different trailers. One is from the 1997 release, actually from the 1992 release when the movie came out in theaters. And I'm going to show a trailer that they did last year for the 4K restoration. And we'll get to that in just a moment. All right, as I mentioned in the previous section, we have two trailers to watch today for League of Their Own. You can see the disc down below me there. It's some of our new format. We're hoping it works out okay. The first is the theatrical trailer. This is what they showed to drum up interest in going to the theater to watch this movie in initial release. And believe me, it worked on me in 1982. I was sober enough to really appreciate the stuff that was going on with this movie, and it just stuck with me. I've been watching this movie for, 33 years now, right? So this trailer made that happen.
I'd like to lead you all in a little prayer. Dear Lord, may our feet be swift, may our bats be mighty, and may our balls be plentiful. And Lord, I just like to thank you for that waitress in South Bend. You know who she is. She kept calling your name.
This summer, Tom Hanks is managing the impossible, the Rockford Peaches.
Says girls can't play baseball. Who says women can't throw?
Slide! Slide! Thank you!
Give them a league of their own to play. Then stand back and get out of their way.
That sounded good.
So let's all root for the girls' team. Let's give the poor coach a break.
You're still missing the cutoff man. Now, that's something that I would like you to work on before next season.
'Cause it's Flash, Flash. We're having a bash at the old ball game.
Got him!
Columbia Pictures would like to take you out to the ball game for an all-star comedy.
They'll pay you $75 a week.
We only make 30 at the dairy.
Well then, this would be more, wouldn't it?
The manager, Tom Hanks.
Are you crying? There's no crying! There's no crying in baseball!
The catcher, Geena Davis.
What do you say we slip in the back seat and you make a man out of me?
What if I smack you around for a while?
Can't we do both?
The pitcher, Lori Petty.
I made it! I'm a peach! A Rockford peach!
The scout, John Lovitz.
Are you coming? See how it works is, the train moves, not the station.
And batting cleanup, Madonna.
What if my uniform bursts open and oops, my bosoms come flying out?
You think there are men in this country who ain't seen your bosoms?
A League of Their Own.
All right. God knows we have a game. It's not like any of this helps, believe me.
Directed by Penny Marshall.
All right, so I'll be honest, I don't remember that song showing up the way that that song was sung there. I don't remember that at all. And I remember a slightly different trailer coming into things. So, but that's the original theatrical trailer, right? That's the one that they say kicked everything off. Now this is a more modern trailer for 2024 audiences. This is for the 4K re-release that came out last year. I do not own this re-release. I didn't even know it existed until today. I knew there was a Blu-ray copy that came out a few years ago, but this is the 4K release. It's on my wish list. I'm gonna get it sooner or later, but it really looks good. This is a really nicely done professional trailer.
You ever hear of Walter Harvey? He's starting a girls'
Certainly
baseball
sounds
league. Wanna
better.
play?
Huh? You're gonna have 4 teams, 16 girls to a team. Some of you's are gonna have to go home. Okay, some of them are going home.
I want you to manage one of the new girls' baseball teams.
I haven't got ball players, I've got girls. There's no crying in baseball. Got him!
I can't do that.
Who can?
That's one hell of a trailer right there. It really is. If it wasn't for the fact that some of those actors are dead now, I would believe that that movie was a brand new period piece that had just been released, and I need to go to the theater to watch it. All right, so we'll talk a bit more about that in our expanded coverage, just coming up now. Apologies. I'm recording this video in the afternoon, and the sun comes right through this window here. So if I lean forward too much, I'll get big spots all over my face. So I'm going to try to do it from back here. Microphone should pick me up just fine. Even though I'm an idiot, it should be okay. So there is a lot to say about this movie. It is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's a sports movie, which I love. It's a baseball movie. I love baseball a lot. It's one of the consuming passions of my life is to watch, play baseball and talk about baseball. I mean, I get into stat debates with everybody about everything, right? We're currently witnessing one of the best seasons ever for a catcher, offensively, not defensively, but offensively, for the catcher for the Seattle Mariners, Cal Raleigh, who's the hometown team. He's not hitting giant numbers, but he is slowly hitting home runs over and over and over again. And the record for home runs by a catcher in a single season is 48, and he currently has 41. It's only July, and there's every indication that he is not only going to shatter that catcher record, but they will also shatter the American League record for home runs in a season, which is 62, set by Aaron Judge a few years ago. Not the National League record, but that has big asterisks on it. We'll talk about that some other time when we're talking about baseball. Right now we're talking about, of course, my favorite movies, A League of Their Own, which features a catcher who hits amazingly well, is a fantastic player. This movie came about because the director, Penny Marshall, from Laverne and Shirley fame, saw a movie called A League of Their Own. It was a documentary in 1987, rather. And the TV documentary about the Girls Professional Baseball League. She had never heard of Girls Professional Baseball before, which is kind of funny given how steep she is in popular culture. But so she reached out to the people who created the documentary, talked to them about getting together with scriptwriters, and then they pitched the whole thing to 20th Century Fox. Fox said no. Sony Pictures said hell yeah, and they greenlit it straight up. And so the movie originally, Penny Marshall wanted Demi Moore to play Dottie Hinson, but by the time the came around to shoot, Demi Moore was pregnant. So then they cast Deborah Winger. They spent 3 weeks training Deborah Winger, but she dropped out because Madonna had been cast in the movie and she didn't want to be in a movie with Madonna. So then they went and they cast Geena Davis, which was the absolute best choice possible because Geena Davis is awesome. Not only is she an athlete, but she's an amazing actor, an amazing advocate for women and women's issues. So they started making this movie in 1991. They had many physical problems, people breaking arms, noses. You know, there's the bruise you saw in the trailer where the woman had slid into there. That was a real bruise. That actually happened. She slid into third base, and then boom, that was there, right? And Lori Petty claims she broke her foot during filming. So many things happened to bring this thing to film to fruition, and it shows the care and passion that went into making this movie. Absolutely shows. It's on display everywhere. I'd love to talk forever about the American Girls Professional Baseball League because it was a giant deal. But I'll save that for another day because my brain just farted out there. Save it for another day. It's not important right now. This film, not only is it huge in my heart, but it's in the National Film Registry. It was entered into the National Film Registry in 2012 because which is what happens when movies are really important to American culture. And this is one. This is it kind of redefined what you could do with a biopic and based on true stories sort of thing. So this is a script based on a documentary based on something that actually happened. There were no Rockford Peaches, but there were other teams. And there was no Harvey bars, right? That's all made up. But what this movie is about, the topics it's about, actually happened to real women. And this is really put on display. There's been more documentaries made about the American Girls Baseball League. This movie was actually turned into a television series. It only filmed 6 episodes in 1993, and only 5 of them ever aired. I remember it came out, but as I mentioned in our Twin Peaks retrospective, I wasn't really watching television in the early 90s. I was watching movies, and I was playing video games, and really I was drinking a lot. So, but Geena Davis was replaced in that role of Dottie Henson with the actor Carrie Lowell, who's a really amazing actress. And then in August of 2020, Amazon Video announced that they were doing another League of Their Own, and it was a reboot. They were doing it as a TV series, which was just freaking amazing. It came out in August of 2022. It's an adaptation of the film with new characters, new storylines. There's a scene. Apologies. I get really choked up talking about this movie and watching this movie. I cry every time it comes on the screen. Thinking about both the scenes from that movie and from this Amazon reboot, your sinuses are filling up. There's a scene in the 1992 film where, while they're playing baseball, a foul ball goes down the right field line, and a black woman picks up the ball that goes over the fence, throws it back in. She throws a perfect strike, and everyone's going, ooh, ooh, and it brings to bear that the segregation of professional baseball, it blocked out black people. So this is not a thing that happens in this League of Their Own TV show, because it does, but they also talk about flat out what it meant to be a ball player, what it meant to do things all the way in. So, and the character of Dottie, who is retitled Carson Shaw, is mentored in how to play baseball by one of these black players who was working in a factory because she wasn't allowed to play actual baseball, but she could show up and pitch an inning every so often in a men's pickup league, and everything was fine with that. So she mentors the main character of Carson Shaw in how to catch, how to pitch, how to do everything baseball. to make sure that she can play professional baseball and raise the bar for all women. So it's a fantastic series. Everyone should watch it. I may do another video about that series if I ever pick it up on DVD, because this is about my media collection, not about what I'm able to stream. But it really is a huge deal because it goes more and more into what it meant to be a female athlete. Now today, it's no one bats an eye when a professional female athlete, when a woman performing at that highest level happens to be gay. It's all right to be gay. Trust me, I'm queer. But this was an issue in the 40s, in the 30s. Whenever people have been around in popular culture, there have been gay people too, in addition to straight people. That is glossed over 100% in the 1992 movie. It is not covered one bit. In fact, most of the women are boy crazy. That wasn't how the American Professional Girls Baseball League went. And so there are a lot of queer issues in the 2022 version. In fact, Rosie O'Donnell comes back, who came out as being queer years and years after League of Their Own came out. She comes back for that show as a manager of a lesbian nightclub, right? Or a queer nightclub, we could say, because more stuff happens in there than just women kissing women. It has Darcy Carden. We love Darcy Carden. She was, in The Good Place. She's been in a lot of other stuff as one of the other characters and one of the primary ball players. And it really is good. You should watch it. Everyone should watch it. It's there's no Jimmy Dugan in that 2022 thing, but there is Nick Offerman as Dove Porter, who has essentially the same role. All right, and it had what was it here? It had eight episodes. It was going to come back for a 4-episode second season, but that was canceled because of the writer's strike. Damn shame what writer strikes do to professional media. But I've talked a lot longer than I normally do for one of these hot takes, but this movie gets you. It just gets you. And it's got some very important lines to it that we should talk about. One of them is towards the end of the movie when the character of Dottie Henson, who is Geena Davis's character, is leaving. Her husband has come home from war. She had a very emotional day because set during World War II. Professional baseball players were going off to war because everyone went off to war. If you were able-bodied, you fought the war and then you came back. A whole bunch of them were leaving behind the prime years of their baseball career to go serve their country. And the reason why the baseball league was formed was to have some professional baseball, even though they couldn't get high-quality male players, because even the minor leagues were being called up. Women were going to factories. They were at home. They had to go into the workplace. This is a way to do that, to have what's going on. Her husband comes home from war, and he has been shot in the foot by a German sniper. So it's portrayed admirably by Bill Pullman. Geena Davis's character of Dottie is at home in the house where all the baseball players live, just crying her eyes out. It's just heartbreaking to watch her give this raw emotional affect. And then her husband comes in, and now she's crying for a different reason. And it's just freaking fantastic to see her go from absolute despair to absolute joy the second that Bill Pullman walks in. And let's be fair, Bill Pullman's an attractive guy. I don't think a lot of us are gonna stop crying, or gonna not cry tears of joy when he shows up. And the next day, everyone is getting to go on the bus, and Dottie is packing her bags, getting in the car with her husband, and going home to the dairy in Oregon. And Jamie goes, "What's going on?" Says, "I'm leaving." Like, well, you're not leaving. You're a ball player. It's like, no, it just got too hard. And he's incensed. He's livid that his best player is going to be leaving the team, but also that someone has come to know right, over long road trips, and who is clearly a student of the game, who loves baseball, who could be a coach herself, is just going to quit because he got injured. He couldn't play baseball anymore. He couldn't even go fight the war, right, because he's injured. So she goes, it got too hard. And he says in this wonderful line, it's supposed to be hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And that's kind of a mantra. You keep that with you here. Stuff gets hard. It's hard to do things. It gets hard to write. It gets hard to perform or do physical things. It's supposed to be hard to do things. So if things were easy to do, it's almost not worth doing. Except, if it makes you a lot of money, in which case you should keep doing the easy thing over and over and over again. Trust me on this one. Trust me. The other really important thing that comes out of this is, again, early in the movie, about halfway through, there's all the big tryouts that are happening in Chicago, and the girls have been recruited by scouts like John Lovitz's character. They've come together, been put on trains, they've been flown in from everywhere, from Canada, from Portland, like the Henson sisters, and there's a character. Her name is Shirley Baker, and she is a fantastic character. She is a farm girl. She doesn't have glove. She doesn't have she doesn't have any shoes or anything like this. She's just wearing overalls, going out there and playing. She's played by Ann Cusack. She's one of two Cusack sisters. They're in here, and she goes up to the they've posted the names of all the women who are going to be on the professional baseball league, and they all go up there. They get there, they find out they're in the league, and they go and they celebrate. Like you saw Lori Petty tackling Geena Davis, saying, "I made it. I'm a peach. I'm a peach." When all that is done, there's one woman left staring at the board, and she doesn't know what to do. She's crying, like I'm crying. The character of Dawn Davis, whom you've seen in Twin Peaks and X-Files and everything, goes over to her and says, "Are you supposed to be here? Are you supposed to be here?" And she can't talk. She's ashamed that she can't read. So she's staring at this board. And one of the other girls goes up and says, "Honey, can you read?" And she goes, "No." Says, "What's your name?" She tells, "My name's Shirley Baker." And then you go, "Okay, look, here's your name. Here's your name here. You're with us. You're with us." And that moment is what I think about whenever the movie starts to play. How I feel right now. How I feel about that movie the entire time. And it just drives home what an amazing piece of filmmaking it was. To trust a female director, a female screenwriter, a female producer in a movie about women. That representation matters. And that's my takeaway. That's my final thought for this movie. Representation matters. If you are going to make going to create a story about something, find out what that thing is about. And that's what Penny Marshall did, based on seeing this documentary, searching out the people who made it, finding their passion, finding other people who share that passion, and eventually finding an entire cast of people willing to bring this story to life. It's been my stream. We went kind of long on this because this movie means a lot to me. In fact, when it came on TV a couple nights ago, I said I should do a video about that. Oh, yeah, one more thing to talk about. So I've had this disc for so long, I don't even know when I bought it. I probably bought this in 1999 or 2000. It wasn't even... I've had it for so long, it predates my use of my DVD profiling software, so it just never got entered in, right? And the... on my media server where I keep the archived versions of these discs, I hadn't burned it into the media server either, right? And so now, whenever we say, "Oh, she could just watch the disc," now I can just go, no, we can go to the server. We can get it, and we can go to whatever part of that movie we want. I can watch this movie whenever I want to. If you want to watch this movie, if you want to watch any of the movies that I talk about, please give me a jingle, all right? We'll watch them together. I don't mind. I'll watch this movie anytime, anywhere. But that's my stream for today. Thank you very much. I've been the idiot with a microphone. This is an RS. So here's the deal: is an RS Entertainment webcast. What that means is that I don't own the media that I talk about, except for the physical media. I don't own the IPs. I don't own the stories or concepts. I can own the discs because I've got a physical disc right here. I paid money for it. But I don't own the rights to show that movie or recut it or anything. What I do own the rights to are my own stories that I tell about people, including queer people. So why not support the stream and buy some books? I write science fiction in addition to writing games and collecting things. Ars Entertainment is the small press that I formed to help authors, independent authors, get their passion books back into print or into print for the first time. If you go to arsentertainment.com, you see a wide selection of carefully curated books, science fiction, fantasy, dark fantasy, even horror, poetry. We are a progressive publisher who support independent authors and the stories that they tell, and you can get a free book written by me, Homefront, by Scott James Magner, at arsentertainment.com. I wrote that book in 2014. I have made all the money I'm ever going to make off that book, so I am glad to give that book away for free. And I've turned it into a trilogy a few years ago, and I'm writing more books in that universe. So why not buy some books, support the stream, support yourselves, support representation, because representation matters. I will see you next time on So Here's the Deal. I am your host, Scott James Magner, the idiot with a microphone, signing off. You have a great rest of your day.